Hi everybody, welcome to my channel. It's Wendy from Little Nest Crafts. I'm bringing you this video today because I've been inspired to join in on the Margarete Miller weekly planner challenge. I've been watching Carol over at Oak House Journals, and she's done some lovely work over the past couple of 2 or 3 years, or perhaps even a bit longer, and I've sort of been following everything she does, and she's a real inspiration, so I thought I'd have a go. Now, I didn't actually buy the book because what Carol did last year, she actually made her own pages and followed with the prompts, which I'm following in Carol's footsteps really. And then she made them into a journal last year and the year before. So yeah, so I thought I'd have a go now. I've been playing catch up because it was only about 2 weeks ago that I decided I would dip my toe into the water, as it were. And so what I'll do, I'll show you what I've done so far, and then we're actually on week 10, and I've actually completed week 10s, but I'll actually show you what I'm going to do for week 9. As I say, I've been playing catch up, and I've done the weeks as I've sort of got inspired a little bit. So for week 1, which was obviously in January, the prompts were something associated with water, a portion of a poem or song you enjoy, pattern paper, something that's unusually kept cold, light shades of blue, and then there's a bonus prompt, an unusual shape or symbol. So what I've done here to hit the prompts is I'll go through each one. Something associated with water. Well, as you know, I'm on Rachel and Bella's craft design team, and in the summer I did this little brolly, this umbrella, as part of my part of my project for the design team, and I'd got this one spare, so I thought, oh, I'll get it out of my stash and I'll use that. So that's something associated with water, is an umbrella. A portion of a poem or song you enjoy. Well, what I thought would go with the theme of water was Singing in the Rain. So that's my background piece of music with the words to Singing in the Rain. My pattern paper was obviously what's on top of the umbrella. Something that's unusually kept cold. I'll go back to that one. Light shade of blue was this handmade paper. It's just light blue, and I've used that as a background. An unusual shape or symbol. Well, this is Aquarius, and it's my birth sign, which is the water bearer. And as you can see, he's got a fish hanging over his shoulder. So that's hits the 2 prompts really. It's the symbol is the Aquarius, and the item that's usually kept cold is the fish that he's got over his shoulder. So as you know, when I did the brolly, when I did the umbrella for part of the design team project for Rachel and Bella Crafts, it was a secret writing spot. So what I've done is I've put all the words inside for Singing in the Rain. That's for the first verse or 2 of Singing in the Rain. So that's inside there. So that was week 1. Week 2 was the prompt for that was an object with jewellery or adornment, a light source you find interesting, something stapled, something found in the garden, a receipt, and the bonus was black ink stamping. So what I've done there is something with jewellery or adornment is this lady. And if I take it out of there, it's a postcard. When I was nursing, before I retired, I went over to work in Dubai for a couple of years, and this is one of the postcards that I brought home with me. And obviously this lady here's got lots of adornment round, lots of jewels and adornment round her neck there. A light source was obviously the Arabic lanterns. So what I've done is I've just cut round them to make like a pocket so that I can slip this postcard in, because I didn't really want to cut it up. Something stapled. Oh, well, I stapled a tag with the words Eid Mubarak on there, which is sort of to celebrate the Eid, wishing everybody a happy Eid. Something found in the garden was my butterfly, and I've made that sort of 3D. My receipt here was my shopping receipt, and I've tucked that underneath and just left it poking out at the bottom where it says customer copy, please retain receipt. And then bonus was black ink stamping, and what I've done there, excuse me, sorry about that, I'm still got this cough niggling since the first week of December, so do forgive me if I start coughing and spluttering. So I did a little corner stamp there. So that's week 2. So I hope you think I've hit the prompts for that. Week 3 of the Margarete Miller Challenge 2024 was the first prompt was something you take on a picnic, an image from a magazine, text other than English or your native language, something torn, something you place on a bookshelf, and the bonus was something found in a school bag. So what I've done here is I've taken a National Geographic front page and I've shrunk it down on the computer. So I've put that as a background piece, and it's English countryside in the background. An image, so that's my image from a magazine. Something you take on a picnic. Well, I found a picnic basket, and I've cut out 2, and I've put some foam pads between the 2 layers so that this is standing proud a little bit. Put that in the corner. Text other than English or your native language is I've got some foreign text here, taken from a book. Something torn, which is that piece of book page there. Something you place on a bookshelf. Obviously I've fussy cut some books and tucked those behind my picnic basket. And something you found in a school bag is a pencil. So I've taken that image from the internet, cut it out, and put it on the side of the page there. So that's my week 3. Week 4. Oh, I've lost my... I'll have to come back to that one. I've lost my prompts. Sorry about that, everybody. I've found the prompts now for week 4, so we'll try again. So week 4, it says something related to a religious or secular holiday, ledger paper, a game or puzzle piece, something you find in a garage, a pair of something, and the bonus was a zigzag pattern. So the zigzag pattern was my rug that was down here. Ledger paper speaks for itself, it's the background. A game piece or a puzzle was this mahjong piece here. It's a domino with a to play the mahjong game. Something you find in a garage is the spanner. Pair of something is the pair of Wellington boots. And something related to a religious or secular holiday is these eggs. Now they are hen's eggs, but we can decorate these and give them for Easter. And something you find in a garage is a not only the spanner, But this old cart here that these hens are sitting on. So that was week 4. Now week 5, the prompts were a sewing item, which I've got a thimble and some thread. Something your country or state is known for, which was the stamps here. Now these are old stamps because sadly we've no longer got a queen, as everybody knows that she passed. And we've now got a king on the throne. But they represent our country. An item representing a childhood memory was this old building here, and it's called the old post office, and it's found down in Cornwall. And it's a lovely old building, and it's still used today. And you can visit it if you are in that area. It's well worth a visit. Something ornate is this book plate that is behind. It's an old book plate with some ornate script on it. Something that starts with the letter L is the leaves on this lovely rose in the background. And bonus something that is pink is obviously the rose flower that's just poking out from the background there. So that was week 5. Week 6. And if any of you do follow Carol over at Oak House Journals, you'll see that she has inspired me on this one. And it's quite funny really because Carol, in a previous video that she'd done, she did post a picture of her as a little girl on a swing over in Singapore. And she mentioned there that her dad was in the RAF. And my dad was in the RAF too, and we actually lived in Singapore. And it would be funny if we were there, if we lived there at the same time. And I had a swing exactly the same as the one that she'd had her photograph taken in. So I did mention that to her. It made me smile. So she inspired me on this piece here. So I hope she doesn't mind that I've followed in her footsteps. So an object hung on the wall. Now this one is this old spear, and what it was, it's a bit strange to have an old spear on a picture when it's all the rest of it's to do with the RAF. But my dad was posted to Africa, and when it was Rhodesia, he went out to Rhodesia, and he brought back a few souvenirs from his time there. One of them being a spear and a shield. And so what I did, I popped that there because it's something sharp, and you know he had it he had it hung on the wall. A piece of ribbon, which is obviously the RAF ribbons. Apparently, when they go out on to any manoeuvres, as it were, when they serve in any country, different countries and things, they get little markings on the different colour ribbons to represent where they've been and what they've done. Going back to something hung on a wall is actually his hat, because you hang that on a coat, on a hook on the wall. And those are the ribbons. There's two or three different sorts of ribbons there. Transportation is this old Spitfire. When my dad was young, he did actually work on the Spitfires, but unfortunately he used to keep getting contact dermatitis from the oils and the grease and what have you, so he had to come off those and train to do something different. A photo of your family member, well, that is obviously my dad, and this was when he was a boy cadet. He was 15 when he first went into the RAF, and this was taken over in St Athan, in the billets there over in St Athan. And the bonus prompt is a form, and this is my dad's RAF form, and I've taken sort of the last page with his date of discharge. He served 24 years in the RAF, and he came out in September 1970. So that's the prompts there for week 6. Week 7. So the prompt for those are something used for whilst travelling, and I've put the lovely colourful camper van. Washi tape. Now I've got some washi along the bottom here, and it was travel washi tape. And it says first class, bon voyage, and globe trotting. A piece of a letter or a postcard. So I've tucked this postcard, and you can just see it poking out of the back there, and it's a French postcard. I get a lot of ephemera from France, so that's one of my French postcards. Something with a distinct scent or smell, and that's a lovely old English rose there. And some roses aren't scented, but if you buy an old English version, they've got a beautiful scent. Rubber stamping in any colour but black. So I put a little stamp mark down the bottom, and it says all my love. And then bonus was a music sheet. So I've just grounded this camper van on a strip of music sheet, and I've also put some in the background there. And a piece of a letter is in the background there too. I put a letter as well as a piece of postcard, and that's an original letter from France, dated 1918 in Paris. Paris, 26th of the 9th, 1918. So a nice old letter there. This is week 8, and Carol also inspired me on this one. An accessory you wear, a ticket, the title of a book on your shelf, vegetable plant or part of one, something related to coffee, and the bonus was lace. So an accessory you wear is a little watch there. My ticket, I've put 2 tickets in the background, and these were from original French tickets. The title of a book on your shelf is In and Out of the Garden, and Carol used this as well, which prompted me to to follow in her footsteps, really, when I saw that she was using that book. Vegetable plant is obviously the peas that are growing in the background. Something related to coffee, and Carol inspired me there with these quirky coffee pots. And then the bonus is lace. So what I did, I used a lace punch and cut out 2 pieces of vellum and made some lace to go along the bottom of the border there. So that's week 8. I don't know if you can see those. There we are. Week 9, which I'm going to be doing in a minute. So we'll skip to the next one. And this is week 10. And week 10 says a piece of furniture, an advertisement, a scrap piece of music, fire or smoke, something that hangs on a string or cord, and then bonus is some typewriter text. So my piece of furniture, as you can see, is this lovely sofa. An advertisement, I've got some sticky labels, and that's an advertisement for Raps Pharmacy. A scrap piece of music is some music page underneath there. Fire or smoke, that's a lovely piece of smoke sort of winding its way up through the background there. Something that hangs on a string or cord. I've got these lights that are hanging down, and they all hang on light cords. And the bonus typewriter text, there's this little number down here that's been typed with typewriter script there. So that's week 10. And now we'll go to week 9. And I should just get my glue. And I've prepped my things that I'm going to be using for week 9. And I'll just make sure that I'm still in shot. Yes. Excuse me. Now the prompts here are wild animal, a tree with blossom, part of a recipe you enjoy making, a book page, something that comes in the mail, and the bonus is a date or anything from a calendar. So I'll just put those to one side. This is my background, the page that I'm going to be making my journal out of, courtesy of Carol. Following there, she gave me the measurements so that I could follow in her footsteps. Now, looking at the prompts, my wild animal, if we go down the list, is this little hare. And then I've got a tree with blossom. This is an image that I've taken from the internet, and it's from a Japanese book of a lovely tree with cherry blossoms on. And I thought that I would use that as my background, part of my background piece. Part of a recipe that you enjoy making. Now, as you know, I live in Wales, and I'm a Welsh girl, and all Welsh folk love bara brith. And so I've got the recipe there for some bara brith. A book page, so this is my book page. And what I thought I would do was pop that in the background there and tuck that in there. There we go. See what that looks like. Something that came in the mail was my stamp. So this is a stamp from France, and I've cut it off the envelope and kept the stamp mark on it, and it says Toulouse, and it's dated 1963. And then it says bonus is a date or anything from a calendar. Now, I didn't have a calendar, so what I did, I typed, that's my husband's date of birth there, 3rd of the 6th, 1951. I'm sure he won't mind me giving his date of birth away. But I've also got this from a, when I bought some French ephemera, I found this little diary, which has got dates on, because it just does say a date or anything from a calendar. Well, I suppose this is a form of calendar in the thing of a diary. So I'll see what we can, where we can put that. Now, I did try tucking it in here and having it down the side, which I don't dislike it, but it's a slightly different shade. And then what I thought I'd do with this is tuck the date of birth in that corner there. And I'll cut that excess paper off there. And then my little rabbit, I thought I would ground his foot. If I pull that down a little bit, 1 second, on this little stamp there. And then he's got the grass going, and then this bit will sort of land on the will sort of land on that branch. Now I'm going to go with him being there, so because I like that bit. So I'm just going to pop some glue. And this was an image that I took from the internet. So if I pop his foot on there and have him just in front of the tree. I'm still not sure about that being there, so I'll take that out and then see what we can do with this barrow breath. Now I could just take that down a little bit and have barrow breath coming out there. Which I don't dislike. Or I could turn it round and maybe do something either tuck down the bottom, in which case I could, oops a daisy, didn't intend to stick him down just yet. I could come out a bit more. Stick my stamp on there, so it just breaks up that edge. How about if I put barrow breath oh, yeah, I don't dislike that, I don't think. Let me just go back. Having that there. Wish I could hear you shouting. Yeah, I think I prefer this date here. Yes, I think I prefer the date on there. So I shall just put a bit along there. Yeah, I'm going to have to cut that, I think, just to get rid of the rough edge. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to stick that on there. a bit fragile, the paper, so I have to be careful. I think I need to just take that in a tad. Just that little bit long. Yeah. There we go. And then I'll put my stamp down there for now. So it's this barra breath. I wonder if I folded that back. Yeah, I think that I'm going to do that. So I can cut that off there, and pop that onto there. There we are. There we are. Do we need any more over this side of the recipe? Or maybe something like that. Yeah, I suppose I could have. I can lift that up. Cut that off there. Yeah. So what I'll do is make sure that's poking out the bottom, and there we are. So we'll glue that down. There we are. There we are. So I hope you like my page. I'll rub all these lines out after. That's sticking down. Put a bit more underneath there. There we are. So there we are, everybody. That's week 9. And we'll just recap. And so my wild animal, which was the hare, the rabbit, tree with blossom, part of a recipe, which was my Barabrith, book page was at the back from dictionary page, something that came in the mail was my French stamp, and a date or anything from a calendar, which was my husband's birth date. So hopefully I'll carry on next week, which we will be on week 11. So I do hope that you can join me, and I hope that you like what I've done so far. Thanks very much for watching, and take care, everybody. Bye.